course, you have to scratch your head and wonder a bit, wouldn't it be a whole lot easier and more sensible to preserve these rich biodiverse treasures in the first place, right? Rather than have one generation mow them all down and expect the next generation to restore them. But it is what it is. My parents' generation is often referred to as the bravest generation for the willingness to roll up their sleeves and make personal sacrifices in the name of serving and protecting our society. In my own generation, well, we haven't been named yet, but I think we'd probably be referred to as the party generation. A life in the fast lane, everything all the time focused on extracting and consuming. Our party generation is now looking at a pretty nasty hangover. And your generation, I hope, yours will be the restorative generation, where you will be the leaders across diverse fields to rebuild more humane governance, where you roll up your sleeves and create models of servant leadership that revitalize our communities, where you will teach us all to recognize and appreciate and serve as stewards of the richness and complexity of our natural and human systems. Sixth and final lesson, song. A longleaf pine forest has often been described as a vast cathedral within which you can hear almost a spiritual music. William Bartram, in his famous travels from the 18th century, talks about the sounds of the forest at dusk as the sounds of songbirds in the air give way to soft winds rustling through the trees. And to be quite frank, I have a hard time hearing this music. And maybe it's my own bias showing through, rational thought dominating. We're such a culture of left hemisphere thinking people. For some, certainly for me, it takes a lifetime to let emotions and affections and things of the heart slowly seep in and affect one's soul. To stop talking so much and listen. To trust one's feelings, feelings about one another, feelings about the place around us. The biologist Stephen Jay Gould put it quite lovely, I think. He said, "We cannot win this battle to save species and environments without forging an emotional bond between ourselves and nature as well, for we will not fight to save what we do not love." The last lesson of place is the lesson of song, of love, of emotion, the capacity to move by feeling. In my own faith, there is one ritual, it's my favorite by far, that gets at what I'm trying to convey. It's every Friday night before dinner, the parents come before each child in the family, place their hands over the child's head, and recite a simple blessing of protection and care. I'd like to conclude with a similar benediction for the class of 2009, the class of slow growth, the class of diverse and symbiotic thinking, the class of restoration. And I'd like to imagine that this whole community in front of you is virtually placing its hands upon your heads and blessing you. The blessing is a song, and it's one of the sappiest songs I grew up with. A song so sappy that any self-respecting, rational thinking adult would feel just a least bit embarrassed to recite it. But that's really the point, to tunnel through the thick shell of rational thinking that encases us all and tap into the emotions and feelings that resonate deeply, to let the love of place, the love of this place, cascade over us. So may the good Lord be with you down every road you roam, and may sunshine and happiness surround you when you're far from home. And may you grow to be proud, dignified, and true, and do unto others as you'd have done to you. Be courageous and be brave, and in all of our hearts, you'll always stay forever young.